In Bhagavad, you see, in Canto 5, chapter 11, verse 17, where Jarabharata is saying clearly, he said, the mind is formidable enemy, and that grows when one escape one duty, one escape one spiritual duty, and it is very, very powerful. But for those which is free from that illusion, they wield the weapon of service to the feet of Guru and God. So they are free from the delusion and the pride which cover the soul. So you see, when we see what your question is saying about Yudhishthira and Arjuna, are full with pride for their success, especially also Arjuna after the war itself. He was so proud that he had fought so well, and he was, glamorously claiming his glory. But who is doing that? You see, it is that mindset itself. That mind which is forgetting what is the true aspect of who you are. The moment you forget who you are, then you place everything else upon, So here in the Bhagavad, it said that the moment the mind run after delusional things, not doing one duty. So not doing one duty, which means, why have you come here in this world? You have a certain dharma, and that dharma is to attain the lotus feet of the Lord. So if your path have bring you unto where you have to be, but yet you don't engage into that, you don't embrace it, yet you do other things which will divert you from that path, So you can't claim that you will attain the blissful state or the true happiness. So being in that delusion state, you will keep entertaining the delusion of the mind itself. So like, for example, I would tell you, there is one devotee here, that devotee, well, he's here living in the ashram, but constantly, you see, it have to be reminded to him about his duty. And of course, laziness kick in, excuses kick in, and of course, doing the same things kick in. Do you think that this person, even in spite of living here in the ashram itself, will attain to anything else? No, it will not. Because such person is entertaining only the delusion of the mind. And I said, more that delusion of the mind is entertained, more strong it becomes. But the same thing, when you see that mind, when it's turned towards the Lord with sincerity, and when we say sincerity, you let go of the past. When you stepped into a spiritual life, that life you should step away from. The moment you stepped away from that, there is a certain realization that take over you. But remove that delusion. That's what allowed one to worship. They say here it said the weapon is the worship. So the worship become a weapon which shield one from that delusion, because that delusion have covered that mirror inside of you. That yesterday the verse was saying the smoke is covered, the fire is covered by the smoke, the mirror is covered by dust. So like that itself, the Atma is also covered by delusion and by pride, ego, and so on. But one can't be free from that. because it's very, very difficult, because you have entertained the mind in spite of the guru telling you constantly that you have to change. But yet, entertaining that mind, entertaining that pride, the change doesn't happen. First, you have to let go of that. Same thing with Yudhishthir and Arjun. They say, due to the samskaras, being prince, being into a certain lifestyle before, in a moment you forget about it. This is what Krishna have constantly remind Arjun. But you are not this body, you are the Atma. How many times people forget about that? It is very easy to forget, because the identification what the mind hold upon is upon the body itself. So when the mind hold upon that physical body, and of course when you say this who I am, then the reality disappeared, because this is not who you are. You are the witness which is inside that physical frame itself, realizing that you are the Atma. It is not you which is doing everything. There's the divine force which is doing everything. Once you forget about that, then you fall into delusion. Even if the Guru will continuously remind you of that, like Krishna have continuously remind Arjun and Yudhishthir, being near to the Supreme Lord itself, even Krishna, Arjun have seen the cosmic form of Lord Krishna, but yet at the end of the battlefield, his pride was so much. Yes, we have won, because you have accomplished something. We have I, and my mind. As long as you hold upon this I, and my mind, you will never be free. Whether you are Yudhishthir, whether you are Arjun, whether you are whoever you are, you see, you have not yet attained to letting go of that pride itself. Once you have attained to that letting go of that pride, then, of course, a certain realization stayed inside of you. This is where Krishna remind Arjun. You see, Arjun, you are so proud, saying that, okay, he didn't say it to him, but okay, you are so proud of that. Okay, please come with me. So then he brought him near a pillar. And on that pillar, there was a head. And what was the name? Barbaric, yes. So on that pillar, there was a head, and that saint is called Barbaric. So Barbaric was a great devotee of Krishna, actually. So just to cut the story short, he heard story of Krishna from his grandmother always since small, and he had a great desire to see Krishna. And because of his love for Krishna and his dedication to Krishna, he was so absorbed into this bhakti, that he developed such a longing for Krishna. And Krishna, of course, knew about him. So he wanted so much to see Krishna. So he went on the battlefield. He said, the only way to see Krishna is not to be in the side of Krishna, it's to be opposite of Krishna. So as he was going, because he's such a great devotee of Krishna, who have surrender and have only one desire, to see Krishna, nothing else. They don't have any desire. So having such desire inside of him, he was approaching the Kurukshetra. At that moment, Krishna said, okay, if he goes to the Kauravas, then for sure, because of his devotion to him, he have to protect him. So he will have to protect the Kauravas. No? So to stop him of doing that, Krishna disguised himself, and other Brahmanan came there and to test him. So then he tested him. So in one moment he lost the test. He failed the test, and then Krishna said, okay, fine. Then now you can't go to the Kurukshetra. They said, no, I want to see Krishna, and I want Krishna. I want to kill me. This was his, I want to see the glory of the Lord. But I died in his hand. That was his wish. And he wanted to see the glory of Krishna, and he wanted to die in his hand, by the Lord's hand. So then he said, I know who you are. You are not a Brahmin. You are Krishna himself who have come to stop me, because you know very well that if you go into the other camp, then you will not be able to win the war. So that's why. So then he said, yes. And he said, no, but you can't stop me. So Krishna said, no, I will stop you. And Krishna called the Sudarshan Chakra and he saved his head. And as he was dying, he was looking at Krishna and said, this is my only wish, was to die by your hand. And looking at Krishna, he said, I would like to see the war. And Krishna blessed him and put the head on the pillar. So when Arjun was so much pride, praising himself, approaching this pillar with Barbarik up there. And Barbarik was laughing, looking at the pride of Arjun now. And he was wondering, why is he laughing? And he said, well, you see, I see that that pride inside of your mind, you are praising yourself. But I tell you something, what I'm laughing is that in spite of seeing the cosmic form of the Lord, in spite of being with the Supreme Lord himself, how the delusion mind, you have not let go of that. Yeah? So that's why I'm laughing at. And he said, well, I did fight. I said, yes. But do you think that your weapon is sufficient to annihilate such great warriors? And it is not. You see, what I saw is that in front of each time you send an arrow, the Sudarshan Chakra of the Lord was there before. So like that, you have not done anything. It is Him who do everything. Just how you step down from the chariot. The moment you step down from the chariot, the moment Krishna asks you, if you step down, then you say, no, you step down first. Then Krishna forced you to step down. The moment the Lord himself stepped down from the chariot exploded completely. So just to remind you that everything was safeguarded by Lord Krishna himself. You didn't do anything. And this is a delusion that not only Arjun or Yudhishthira entertain, the whole world is entertaining it, because everybody hold upon their own strength and power, thinking that, yes, I am doing that, or I am doing this. How long would you think that you are in control of things? How long would your richness really make you happy? Death will come and take everything. The moment death comes, where is your pride? Now, in front of death, everybody is rendered humble. So don't wait for that time to come then to make yourself humble. So that's why, here you see that Arjun and Yudhishthira have also this pride, because they have not fully let go of it. And as you see very well, that in spite of being with the Lord, their mind was not focused upon Him. That's why they took upon themselves karmic things upon. That's why Lord Krishna told them, go in the Himalayas, worship Lord Shiva, be free from these karma. Because in spite of reminding them that their mind should be upon Him, their mind was wandering around, So due to their mind wandering and focus upon what they were doing only, they can't be free. That's why the purpose of service is not that you should drop everything that you do and just say, okay, I will sit in meditation and think only of God. This is not the time. So whatever you do, wherever you are, just pause for a few seconds, close your eyes, connect with Him. Like that, He will be part. You will keep reminding that He's part of what you are doing. The moment you forget about that, then the mind will kick in, and then that pride will take over, and then the moment of pride take over, then delusion start. Once delusion started, then you will completely lose yourself into that.